Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds Podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds Podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds Podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds Podcast. Sit back and get back and get back and grab a six-pack, sit back and get back and get back and grab a six-pack, sit back and get back and get back and grab a six-pack, sit back and get back and get back and grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds Podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds Podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 220 of the Drunk Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tyler. And joining me, I almost forgot my name there. That was really weird. And joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself. We have Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
I am doing fantastic, Tyler. And I must admit, it's been a hell of a week. It's been a hell of a week, and it's also been a fast hell of a week, if you can actually process that for a moment there. Oh, man. I've gone through a lot of stuff in terms of cleaning because I've been trying to organize my room to try to better, display a lot of my gaming stuff. I mean, I post a lot of pictures on Facebook and Instagram because it's like, I have so much fucking gaming stuff from my retro stuff that it's just ridiculous. I did a count of, how many games I actually had physically through my collection. Now, granted, listeners at home or wherever the hell you're listening to our podcast, I literally have been collecting games since I was about 13 years old, and I am nearing 30, and I have almost 400 games in physical form.
I just counted mine while you were talking. I
Yeah.
have 12. Physical games.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the point being is I have this little rack that I've been using in my closet to try to display things, and I was just basically using just to set up a bunch of random shit. So I took a lot of the gaming consoles that I had inside of a storage bin. I basically dusted off a lot of stuff because you know how industrial mold likes to get on specific things if nothing's ventilated out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wanted to try to avoid that with my gaming stuff. So I got a lot of my systems on this rack right in front of me at the moment. So I got my GameCube. I got 2 GameCubes here. I got two 64s. I got a Sega Genesis, an NES, PS2, and my Super Nintendo. Yeah. So basically I have all my favorite systems that are right front and center. But what I'm planning on doing is I'm probably going to maybe invest inside of a CRT and all of this stuff. But anyway, other than that, though, my week has been it's actually been progressively busy and stuff. Not only just cleaning, but I actually had a chance to get out of work early because
Nice.
My team and I finished our work quotas for the week, and basically we got out around noon on Friday, which that's just amazing in and of itself. Oh, granted, I only missing 1 or 2 hours off the paycheck. That's about it. Because here's a funny story. It's one of my other coworkers and I, a couple of Fridays ago, we were the only 2 employees who were actually working the production lines with one of the supervisors staying until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Everyone else left, and it's hey, now you guys just have 6 less hours in your paycheck, and I only have maybe, I don't know, 2, 3 missing? Yeah.
Haha.
Yeah, I know, exactly. But, man, how have you been, Tyler?
Oh, man, I'm doing okay. I'm going to one up you here a little bit. I got Friday off of work.
There you go.
Yeah, I was going in early, staying late all week, so I'm I already got my hours. I'm going to stay home. Can't do overtime anyways, so I was I had to use a couple hours PTO, cover it, but I'm not coming in on Friday for 2 hours. So, yeah, but doing okay. Doctor Who is a woman now. Internet's pissed. All's right in the world, I guess. Or everything's normal, I guess I should say.
I'm actually fairly excited what type of direction they'll go with it.
Yeah, we got a new showrunner and a new doctor, and possibly a new partner, I guess. So a companion. So it should be pretty exciting next season.
That still makes me want to just like go forth and finish up the Capaldi stuff, since I only had like I only watched a few episodes with the whole like thing with his companion at the time, Clara, and then all of a sudden I just stopped watching because I couldn't like record like a lot of my DVR stuff. Because funny enough, a couple of years ago, it's like my dad decided to get not direct, but like freaking Dish TV, and I could not record anything without recording over everybody else's, watching stuff. Which that was fun. But yeah,
I think it's all on Hulu or Amazon. One of them has it.
I think it's on like
probably get a free month and maybe just
it's on like multiple, but I think it's on Netflix currently.
No, Netflix doesn't have it anymore.
Really?
So yeah, they went to one of the other ones.
Ah, bless.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's on one of those. I know that. I've seen them on there. But yeah, the quality stuff. Capaldi's really good. Unfortunately, the writing has been great. This season was excellent, though. I think season 10 we just finished up. I think season 10 we just finished up a couple months ago, or actually earlier this month. So that was really good. But yeah, no, I'm pretty excited about that. For people that may not know this, as of Saturday night we're recording, late Friday night, it's like 11 something at night. I'm like just scrolling through Twitter, laying in bed, waiting to fall asleep, and I see SNES Classics are up for pre-order on Walmart. Those things were gone within about 6-7 minutes of that post being up on Twitter.
Oh my god! Just so randomly too.
Yeah, definitely. It was like 11 something Central Time. They popped up, so they're coming. So keep an eye out, people, if you're interested in one of those. I do have something cool though.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered 2 of them.
You did?
Yes, I did. One for Justin and one for Gables.
You did?
Yes.
Holy shit, Tyler.
Yes. So as long as they're not canceled, you guys got one. Because I got the Super Famicom coming from the UK.
Fuck, dude. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I got very lucky. I pre-ordered the one. I'm like, I'm going to go in there and see if I can pre-order the second one. And they both say they're good. They both say they're processing. So
awesome.
Yeah. So got those coming. So I got 3 of them now. So pre-ordered. But I got the Famicom, which is actually I think looks cooler. So I'm keeping that one. As long as they don't get canceled. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that's so that they're out there now. So they're not out there yet, but they're popping up. So if you're interested in one of those things, keep an eye on Twitter. Recommend you follow some, like Amiibo News or like Cheap Ass Gaming or some sort of Nintendo Twitter account, and they're really good at posting whenever it's like Amiibos or like hardest to find stuff is available on websites. So I've gotten pretty lucky a bunch of times with stuff like that. Cheap Ass Gamers is a good one on Twitter. They show whenever there's a good deal or flash sales.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of good deals on Cheap Ass Gamer and stuff, because that's how some of my deals actually went down. Going forth and like reading Cheapy D's like a little blurbs of what he has like for say random flash sales from here or there and stuff. It's a great site to go on if you want to try to look at, say, for Black Friday, you want to catch some of the great deals or something going on there. Go to cheapassgamer.com, man. It's probably one of the best sources you're going to find for those type of deals.
Yeah. But if you want like up to the minute stuff, that's a good place, especially when, like I said, Amiibo and stuff like that pop up to pre-order, Switches, whatever. I unfollowed them on Twitter just because I was spending way too much money because of their shit they post. Ooh, $8? Okay, I'll buy that. And I buy it. I'm like, why the fuck did I buy that? That's stupid. I have a problem with that. But anyways, this is a video game podcast where we talk about video games, and we're going to do that now. We're going to jump into what we've been playing. So, Gables, I'm going to let you go first.
All right. I've been playing a couple of different things for... I've been playing a couple of different things on the Nintendo Switch, obviously, and one of them happened to be Puyo Puyo Tetris, a little bit of continuation from last week. Oh, there wasn't, like, say, 50 levels and all. There was actually more like 61, 62 levels in all. I decided to go forth and see if I could finish up the rest of the story stuff, and yeah, I actually managed to play through the different modes and stuff in the story, and I gotta admit, man, it was fairly challenging getting through the last portions of that game. I mean, obviously during the last podcast, I expressed a little bit more like the AI and stuff when it came to specific parts of the story mode, because sometimes the difficulty can spike up a bit, especially if you're playing like random against random AI characters. Like there was this character I remember like last Sunday beating. It was called Eklo or some sort of like cosmic being or some crap. I don't know. I just throughout my entire playthrough, I just really put the story on the back burner and just started heading into like playing the actual meat and potatoes of the game itself. But this character, oh my god, this character kept pissing me off because it's like I am already like not too strong doing a bunch of like say Puyo Puyo stuff, the things like that. But yeah, I was literally stuck on that one puzzle for like at least a good hour and a half because it wasn't necessarily like me like not being able to get like certain things at a specific point or something. It's more or less how the AI could deduce, like set up like certain chains here and there and stuff in order to try to overwhelm me with different types of junk going into my side of the board. Because that's how these games are set up. It's basically you have a board, your opponent has a board, it's side by side, you can see how your opponent's doing, and obviously you can scout, like, say if they're going to build up a specific, like, 3 or 4 different lines or something like that they could, like, potentially clear off, like, and send you a whole bunch of junk stuff. So, in the case for that, it literally took me an hour and a half just to go through and clear this puzzle, and when I did it, I actually, like, did it by luck, as, oh boy, I managed to clear off, like, a couple of dozen lines in the span of, like, 2 or 3 different moves, and that ended up, like, overwhelming his board to the extent where he basically could not continue. But that's basically one of the low points that I had with going through Puyo Puyo Tetris, you know, because the story mode in of itself, like I said, a little bit of a throwaway, but at the same time, the gameplay is really solid. And the difficulty, yeah, it can range between being alright to maybe a little bit more higher in difficulty, and like especially if you're going towards the later half of this game, because for one, it all depends upon how familiar you are by playing games. Like, say, this game banks very heavily of you even remotely playing a little bit of Tetris or a little bit of Puyo Puyo before. Because if you're trying to learn both at the same time and stuff, you're probably going to feel a little bit overwhelmed at first because they're two radically different types of puzzle games. Tetris, you're more or less lining up like geometric shapes inside of a line in order to clear the line. Of course, you can clear 2 lines at a time, or say 3, or even like clear a Tetris line, which is like 4 filled in lines in a row. So whenever you do that, you fill a bunch of the stuff that you clear off, and it adds that junk stuff that you just cleared off goes to your opponent's side of the board, to where if you are going to, say if you're playing the Tetris mode, by doing that, filling up a whole bunch of junk on his side of the board with termininos or something like that they call it in this game, all that to the extent to where they can't continue on and stuff. Yeah, that's basically one type of the puzzle game, but the other is Puyo Puyo, which is like basically these little jelly creatures that are in different colors, ranging from red, purple, green, yellow, blue. There's like about 4 or 5 different types of colored Puyo Puyos. And how you basically play those is they come in little bunches of 2, and they usually come inside like different colors and stuff. So sometimes you'll have 2 blue ones, sometimes you'll have like maybe a blue and a red one. So what you do is you organize them to an extent where you basically have them in different types of color columns. You can organize them either horizontally or vertically, kind of like how you can with Tetris pieces, but the thing about it is you can set them up differently to where like different pieces of the Puyos will actually drop off to other pieces of Puyos when you complete like specific lines. So basically you can set up a whole complex chain of like Puyo Puyo clears if say you organize about 3 or 4 of them in a row in combination with other colors. So it gets really frantic, really crazy when you say you clear up about 7 or 8 different types of Puyos at once. But my overall experience with the game, having cleared off the final portions of the mode, is I thought my experience playing through the story mode of Puyo Puyo Tetris was rather fulfilling. I have not even touched the arcade. There are I kid you not, 8 different arcade modes for Puyo Puyo Tetris. So if I wanted to, I can go ahead and probably play a little bit more, because each arcade modes is specifically taken from the different types of modes you play inside of the story mode. So you basically got classic, you got this specific type of mode where it's basically like you're trying to complete these different Tetris sort of these certain Tetris sort of clears at the same time, to where you're putting a random geometric Tetris shape into a line of 4 and stuff, and try to take away the blocks and stuff, try to do it as fast as you can and stuff. But then there's another arcade mode that specifies in both playing Tetris and Puyo Puyo at the same time, to where both the blocks and the geometric shapes are all inside one board. And I gotta tell you something. It's when I played that mode for the first time, the story mode, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Because you basically have specific modes in the game where you can switch off boards between a Puyo Puyo board and a Tetris board, so you're not getting confused. But now you have a fusion mode, where it's basically you fuse both puzzle pieces, both puzzles and Puyos together, and it gets really confusing and frantic, because you're trying to clear both kind of pieces, but then all of a sudden these little puzzle pieces, these Tetris pieces, are turning into Puyo Puyos randomly, or blinking, or whatever the hell, and it was kind of confusing, though. But I ended up figuring out that when I go ahead and try to clear different types of line, I have to focus on doing the either one or the other in order to try to clear off and fill off my opponent's board. Which, to my credit, I did it in about 4 or 5 tries of the final opponent. But
nice.
But I personally do not know how long I spent with that story mode. I'll probably check my Switch in a little bit when it comes to the actual time, but I played that. I actually played around, I would say, about an hour and a half of The King of Fighters 98, which that's also a downloadable that you can get on the Switch, along with other types of random assortments of Neo Geo classic games on the Switch and on PS4 and Xbox One, probably PC as well, because hell, what's not on PC nowadays?
Zelda?
Well, other than first-party Nintendo games. But my point being is, King of Fighters 98 is modeled after the Neo Geo classic. It's a fighting game. It is a fighting game upon a prestigious fighting game franchise in King of Fighters that has originated since, I believe, 1994. But yeah, in this game and stuff, you can actually play the original Japanese port, which it has its own Japanese has the whole Japanese frames, all the different types of screens, all the different types of things that they didn't censor inside those games. It's actually really cool just to go forth and play the game inside the dubbed English version.
Are you telling me there's tentacle porn in this game?
No.
Oh, fuck. All right, I'm out. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, but anyway, I'm just listening to I was listening to my dad just yell at the freaking TV screen upstairs because he's watching a fucking baseball game again. But but anyway, inside this fighting game, it can get rather frantic too. But that's because when SNK developed some of their fighting games, they intentionally made them to be like quarter spenders, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
So intentionally, they put in specific types of difficulty spikes towards the end of the games in order for the player to put more quarters inside the machine. Man, that's more than apparent when you face off against that game's final boss. And oh my god, it's typical fighting game final bosses to where it is brutally hard, even if you try to switch it on, say, the easiest difficulty. Which, I'll be perfectly frank and honest with you, it's like, if I'm playing a fighting game and I know it's going to be harder than the norm, I'm going to dumb down the difficulty so I can enjoy the experience. In comes the final boss for King of Fighters 98. To where it's like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm trying to block, it's like, oh my god, he's fucking taking out a quarter of my health with one shot, what the fuck? That's basically me playing King of Fighters 98 in a nutshell. But I managed to beat that game.
Nice.
So, my grand total for this year, when it comes to games I've actually beaten... Now, granted, I've been only playing games that have been released this year on, like, say, the PS4 and the Switch. I mean, granted, you know, like, King of Fighters 98 is a retro game, but it came on the Switch this year, so I consider it, like, a game released this year that I've beaten. But, obviously, when it comes to the whole Game of the Year stuff, which we'll do later, that's not going to be included. But
better not.
It's not going to be included. I mean, come on. I basically play like a specific run-through. It's kind of like how I Am Bread is probably not going to be on the damn list because I had a frustrating time playing it. But there is one other game I have played this week. During Wednesday, I basically had pretty much only a couple of things I wanted to try to finish up on the Switch. That being King of Fighters 98 or playing around a little bit with Puyo Puyo Tetris. So when around halfway through this past week came, I basically was trying to find things to play. And I was looking towards my backlog, and there has been a game I've had on my shelf since around April that I wanted to open up and I wanted to go through and put in my PS4. That game being Persona 5. Now, the thing about Persona games, much like other games inside of that whole Shin Megami Tensei franchise, once you play those games, it takes a long time in order to finish them. And I'm not talking about like 100% completion. No. I'm talking about actually going through and playing the entirety of the game from start to finish, without maybe doing too many side missions or whatsoever. Now, let me flash you back, like, just for a quick moment. PlayStation Vita version of Persona 4 Golden. My first playthrough, I did not complete all the side missions. I did not complete, like, all the random, like, confidant, like, branch-off stuff, you know, for developing a lot of the different character relationships and stuff. It took me still over 100 hours in order to beat that game.
That's it?
Yes.
Justin plays that much Zelda in a day. I'm not kidding. He does. The fucker's weird.
Oh, yeah. Once by the end of the year or something, that's probably going to be, like, Justin at 1,000 hours playing through Zelda Breath of the Wild trying to get all the Korok seeds.
Yeah. He's probably playing it literally right now as we're recording this. And also, as he's listening to it, he's probably still playing the game. So
pretty much so.
Yeah.
But here is Persona 5. So, let's see. Persona 5. I love the artistic style of this game. From the opening intro, you're treated to a great eye-popping cinematic of the whole, like, the crew, you know, going through different types of introductions and this and that. You know, how a intro is supposed to be for a video game. But, what's really stylish is a lot of the overlays for the menus, a lot of the different types of comic book feel in terms of the cutscenes that cut in and out and stuff. The other thing about this game that people will probably find out, or probably have already found out by playing it, is Atlus does not want anybody to try to share different types of gameplay or different types of spots from this game online. So randomly, if you're playing the game on PS4, you'll get little notifications saying, oh, okay, game recording thing has been stopped because Atlus has blocked this or blocked that. And it's like, okay, no big deal. I'm not going to stream this game. But from playing around, I'm pretty close to around 4 hours in. So not bad. I have...
almost done with it.
Fuck, don't even get me started. But so basically, I've played of just a teardrop in the barrel of this game so far, and I have loved the introduction to this. So it starts off where you're this kid that transfers from another town. Basically, you have a criminal record, and you're staying at this dude's like cafe, pretty much. You're basically, your parents were like friends with the owner of this cafe, and you're staying at this dude's like cafe and stuff like that. You know, like sleeping in his extra room and like this and that and stuff. But you've transferred to schools, you know, from schools too. So you basically got to go through a balanced school life while balancing different types of paranormal stuff that happens between like the happening of like it just gets rather complicated rather quick. But I will.
It's like a really long episode of That's So Raven, basically, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's So Raven. Oh
What
my
happened to
god.
Raven Simone.
No, that's honestly the feel of it. If I were to compare it TV wise, it's definitely a mix between, say, kind of a high school drama mixed in with, say, Twin Peaks style of weirdness, and on top of that, it has little bits of oh gosh, not like a monster movie or something like that, but it has like little aspects of, oh gosh, what's
Supernatural?
It actually kind of has some bits of that, to be perfectly honest with you.
So Twin Peaks, Saved by the Bell, Supernatural combined into one thing. Got it.
Oh, quintessentially, yeah. Sweet. But so basically, the gameplay about it is a turn-based RPG. Now, this turn-based RPG is not that bad, to be perfectly honest with you. It's not too different from certain other games from the previous titles. The only thing that's different about this one is it adds different types of elements from past Persona games. In the original Persona, you were able to talk with shadows or like random demons or something like that in order to get like specific things from them, like say items or this or that, you know. In this game, you can actually do that too. It's called Wild Talk. So what Wild Talk? I know, right?
I don't know why it's so funny to me, but it is. Go ahead, just keep going.
I know. It was actually kind of funny when I read that too. It's like, really? Basically, if I'm talking in the middle of battle, it's fucking Wild Talk because it's like something different. But I have not used this feature yet inside the battles and stuff. But I'm able to use I'm able to use regular attacks. I'm able to change up the strategies of what I want to attack my opponents and stuff. I can analyze like specific like enemies and stuff in order to see what they're weak or strong against. But I can also use weapons. I can actually use like random guns and stuff like that. So for this, it actually has like an option where you can hold up and aim a gun and then just like switch between your opponents and like use ammunition. You know, like how much like bullets you have inside of a gun, you can actually use it to where like you can empty like maybe 2 bullets inside one opponent and then switch to the other and just use like maybe 3 on the other. It's kind of weird that way for some reason. But you can also use persona skills, which it depends upon what persona that you have equipped on, but they're basically your magic, to be perfectly honest with you. They can either do specific types of attacks, like element-based attacks like fire, wind, electricity, maybe like holy or even dark attacks and stuff. So overall, it's like I am really early on in this game, but what I've played so far has really hooked. It's really hooked me in, and I want to learn more about this story. It's like the complete opposite of my interest from playing and beating like Puyo Puyo Tetris, the story mode from that, which is basically kid-friendly and like kind of dull, and it's kind of like not so interesting, and all of a sudden you go from that onto the Persona 5 where it's like, oh wow, this is really edgy. Well, it's not just edgy, there's like really random dark things. There's like talks of like just like random adult themes and this and that. Then all of a sudden the aesthetics of like how the game looks through menus and cutscenes and stuff looks really fantastic. And then there's like the story is really fantastic as well so far, and it builds up and it makes you want to just play more of it and stuff. So basically, I'm probably like a few short steps away from spending like a fucking 5 or 10 hour binge of this damn thing. But
there you go.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing for this week.
Oh, very cool, man. Glad you're finally hopping into Persona.
Yeah.
I've been playing a couple games this week. I did pick up. Been talking to Justin for like a month now. He's been going through Metal Gear Solid 4, and he's been talking to me about his progress and got me jonesing to play it again. So I picked it up. I played the first couple hours of that, but I'm not going to really talk about that. Maybe when I play more of it. But the two big ones that I played this week, played the Destiny 2 beta and picked up Splatoon 2. I'm going to start with Destiny 2. That should be faster. So there's 3 things you can do in it. You start off, everybody's got to use, there's a initial cutscene, then you play the first mission of the game called Homecoming. It was shown in the like Destiny 2 reveal back in May. And so you just play through that. It's probably 15, 20 minutes or so that mission is, depending how good you are at it. I just played single player with that. I don't know if you can choose. Yeah, I guess you could probably do 3 player with that. But anyways, played through that. You're playing against the Cabal, whatever. Anyways, they attacked Crucible, which is like the main hub from the first game, and they're going after the Traveler, the egg moon looking thing.
Yes.
And so you play through that first part, and you get introduced to the bad guy, the main protagonist or antagonist of the game, and so as the gameplay parts of it feels pretty good. It looks a lot nicer than the original Destiny does.
Right.
Maybe it might look better because the Pro, I'm not really sure. They didn't really say anything about what the Pro does. All we know is it doesn't give you 60 frames per second.
Uh-huh.
But I imagine there might be some upgrade from that. But it looks good. Gameplay-wise, it feels fine. But it does have a lot of the things from the first Destiny that I think a lot of people were kind of bored of, where like just a lot of guard this spot for a few minutes, kill this wave of enemies. There's a spot where like you gotta protect your little light guy. I don't remember what the fuck they call him. Your Peter Dinklage guy.
Gotta protect the Dinklebots.
Yeah, rest in peace, Dinklebot. We hardly knew ye, but yeah. I mean, I think if you like to play the Destiny, the gameplay portions of it, you're probably gonna love this too. It feels just like a lot like Destiny. They gave you some new powers. I'm definitely gonna miss my throwing star, which I don't think, or my throwing knife, which I don't think is in this one. I didn't see it anyways. Which was like my favorite thing to do was kill an enemy with throwing a knife. But I'm gonna yelling supercharged every time I use my supercharged attack. I'm really excited about that. I did that playing by myself, which was like maybe one of the saddest things I've ever done. Supercharged. But it happened. I did it. And I'm not proud of it, but god damn it, it's fun to do.
You just hear your folks like outside the door. It's like, what are you doing? It's like
what the fuck is wrong with that kid? Where did we go wrong? I tell you guys, next if you play Destiny or Destiny 2 or whatever, I don't care if by yourself or friends, when you do your supercharge attack, just yell it like that, like Charmander. Supercharge. It's adorable. You'll love it. You'll feel better about it. Not later, but initially at that moment, you're gonna feel good about it.
I would laugh my ass off if somebody did that in public when they're playing it at an event or something. Playing like Destiny 2, it's like Supercharge.
Yeah, there's like esports and like the championship, and yell Supercharge and wins. See, I'll be my proudest moment right there. But yeah, no, it feels fine. I'm not picking this up day one. Unless Gables does, which I don't think Gable is. So
there would have to be a lot of things that fall into place for me to do that.
Winning the lottery, quitting your job, I get it. I definitely want to play Destiny 2 sometime down the line. I feel like that could be like a fun game to do, like Dead Zone sometime next year, whatever. Because it is fun playing with friends. But yeah, I mean, feels fine. There is a strike you can do with 3 people, 2 other people. And then there is the online Crucible stuff, the competitive multiplayer. So if you're interested in that, there is that. I didn't check any of that shit out. But the yeah, first mission seemed fine, seemed fun. I did like the fact there is definitely a lot more emphasis on the story. Nathan Fillion's there, which is always great.
Yay.
I liked him in Taken King. He's probably my favorite part about the first Destiny game, as far as story goes, because he really was the only story in that game. But I'm glad they are expanding upon that, and they're adding some goofiness to it, and actually digging like the first game. I beat the entire game. I had no idea who the main antagonist was, or even if there was an antagonist.
Yeah.
And I know already after the first mission who the bad guy is. So that's a big improvement, story wise.
So you know where the enemy is, right?
Yeah, I know who I'm supposed to hate. So that's good. The other thing I played, Splatoon 2, came out just yesterday. Played probably 6-7 hours of that so far.
Yeah.
I've done maybe 20-25% of the main story mode. I think there's like 30 levels. I think I'm done probably 8 or 9. So just a couple hours worth. I don't think it's very long. I like most of the missions are like 6 to 8 minutes, depending on how well you do. But all that seems pretty fun. I mean, the only thing that sucks is I'm about almost a third of the way through, and I'm still like doing some tutorial stuff. Like they're still adding elements to it at this point in the main campaign. But some of the stuff I do like they've done though. One of the big things they did, and it's like a Sunset Overdrive type element.
Yeah. Where
like they have like basically like you're grinding, which they had in the first one, like the rails you can go down, but you just kind of turn to a squid and like just it was kind of like a almost like a fast travel kind of thing where you just like quickly got to the other side of the map. And it was in the first game, but now you can actually shoot. You can kind of grind on like you're skateboarding and you can shoot, which is really awesome.
That was actually shoot. That sounds pretty awesome. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. I don't think any of the multiplayer maps use it. I at least haven't seen any yet, which is kind of a bummer. But at least so far in the couple missions I played with it in there, it's pretty fun. Feels pretty good. It's like kind of like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but now you got a gun, which is pretty fun. I do like some of the new weapons. Like the dualies is pretty good. I tried that out for a little bit on the multiplayer. I've done a lot of Turf War. I think I'm like level 7, I want to say. And using the dualies feels pretty good. It's basically like the dual RPG, not RPG, SMG. Yeah, SMG.
Like an SMG
weapons.
Huh?
Yeah. So you dual wield those. The only thing that sucks though is I have more fun using that because you're a little faster. You shoot a little more rapidly, and they have a cool you can kind of do like a roll when you're using it. But I noticed that overall I'm worse in the game, and I didn't win a single. I played like 5 games with that, and I didn't win a single game using that, and I got way less points. So I went back to the splatter shot, which is like the gun they give you at the beginning. And I am doing a lot better, scoring a lot more points, and we win most of the time. So it's kind of a bummer, but play to win. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. The online, it's more Splatoon, which Splatoon's awesome. So it's good to have more. It's kind of cool because I'm actually doing really good online. Surprisingly, I figured I did really well in the first Splatoon game. The first couple weeks, I was always 1 or 2 on the leaderboards and winning most of the games. And I took a break, came back a couple months later, and I remember we were getting destroyed. We couldn't even get out of the spawn. People were just kicking our asses. So it could be one of those elements where a lot of people maybe that didn't get a Wii U have the Switch now.
Right.
They're playing Splatoon 2, and I'm newbies whooping their ass. So, but it's fun. I like it a lot. I'm kind of hooked on it again, which is nice because I really enjoyed the first one. It just kind of like I talked about, going back into it after you take a little bit of break is difficult to do. And one of the other modes I played is a new one, Stamina Run. I played I think 6 or 7 games of that, and that is really really good. I like that mode a lot. So. It's fun. It's quick. It's perfect for the Switch. If you're doing a handheld, and you're just doing local play or doing online play or you're on a bus doing whatever, it is a perfect game mode. So it's only there's 3 waves. Each wave I think is 100 seconds.
Yeah.
And so kind of the thing is it's kind of like a mini horde mode where just a bunch of the octo things. Well, I can't remember what it's called. With the octopus things, you have to defeat them. And then there's different types of them. There's small ones, bigger ones, and then there's also like boss ones they have to fight. And whenever you only defeat these, there's 8 different bosses that you face, and each one does different things, and there's different ways to defeat them. There's pretty cool ones.
Yeah.
But when you kill one of them, they drop these eggs. And what you do is every round is you have to get X amount of eggs in 100 seconds. And I think the first round is like 3, the second round is 4, then the third round is 6. And every time they kill one, they drop 3 eggs. So doing 4-player, you grab those eggs, and then you got to get, if you get hit or you die, you drop it. And then the octopus things, if they grab it, they can take it back, and then you lose that egg. And you got to take them, once you grab the egg, you got to take it back to a basket, put it in the basket. And I've done, like I said, 6 or 7 modes, or 6 or 7 times I played it, and every single time we won fairly easily. And also on top of that, you have to survive. So even if you got all 3 eggs in the first 20 seconds, you still got to survive the rest of that 100-second round.
Oh.
And the third round gets pretty crazy, where like you're facing 2 or 3 of these bosses at a time. So as long as you're smart, you stick together. It's definitely a mode where it gets hectic, and kind of downside, I guess, sometimes without having voice chat is people just kind of go off their own. There's no real strategy. There is like press up to say this way, or you can call people over or call for help when you get killed, where they can revive you. Not killed, but incapacitated, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And they can revive you. So there's ways to communicate, and for the most part, it's worked pretty well. But there's definitely times where it's like, what the fuck are you? Why are you over there? What are you doing? But it's cool. I have a lot of fun with that, and I looked at the schedule, and it's like it's like from my time, it's like 11 or it's, what was it, 1 a.m. to like 11 p.m. or something like that. So from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. it's shut down, at least according to the schedule. So
that's kind of ridiculous, Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess if there's a time of the day to be shut down, it's maybe one of the best times. But it looks like it's going on all weekend, and for at least the first week, looking at the schedule, I don't know. There's not showing any downtimes, but I think through like the 25th, it's pretty much up all the time. I hope it stays up. I really hope that's the thing that sticks around, because that is a lot of fun to do, and it's a way you can actually earn like tickets and stuff playing through the mode, and you can use that to get like bonuses. So you can like use these tickets, and you can get, when you play online, you can earn double XP or double cash earned, because whatever points you earn in the game, you get that in cash, and you can buy more gear. Which we've talked about my problems with kind of the what Nintendo's doing with the game with at length about the whole rotation of the maps and the gear kind of like only being available at certain times, and the fact that certain power-ups are tied to the gear.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I wish there was a way to be a little more customizable with it. Like, would let me like pick my gear and pick the power-ups for it. Like let me build my character. Because I feel like a lot of times I'm just like, I have like a goofy-looking character, which I know it's Splatoon, it's whatever. But it's like I kind of wish, like, I've seen some cool stuff. I'm like, oh, cool, that looks really cool. I want to have that.
Yeah.
But it's like I look at the power-ups for it. I'm like, oh, fuck that. I don't want that. I got better power-ups for my other gear. So
that's sort of like a negative thing and stuff like that. You're checking like other people's like weapon sets like while walking around like.
Well, just going to the store and seeing what's available is what I'm doing.
Okay.
And I'm just looking at the power-ups that come with it, and it just kind of sucks. And they're like, you can get it, but it's all randomized. You can unlock more power-ups for your gear. But, I mean, it's a lot of it just small nitpicks. Like, the online mode, there's 9 maps. 4 of them are maps from the previous Splatoon game.
Right.
But they picked some good ones, I think. But it's still, like, half your content on this for the online portion is old content. It's really more Splatoon 1.5. They added a few new maps, Salmon Run, and then you got a new story mode, which is, I like it a lot, but it's definitely like, I'm not complaining about the purchase at all. $60. I'm gonna enjoy the hell of this. I mean, you get my money's worth out of it. But if you're somebody that didn't really care for Splatoon 1 so much, but there's not really much, like, not a lot has changed in Splatoon 2 I think, where people like, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna give it a second chance. I'd say if you didn't like it the first time around, probably ain't gonna like it the second time around. And that it's one of our topics, but the Switch online app is now available. Came out on like Thursday night or something, and that thing is bare bones as hell. I've heard people.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, so people like I'm just reading on Twitter. People are like, they try using the voice chat on it, and it's a pain in the ass where you have to have the app has to be the main app open. You can't be doing voice chat and then like I'm gonna open up Twitter or Facebook or whatever, or do like someone's calling me or something like. I guess that really wouldn't matter, but so I got a text message. I want to look at my text messages. Oh well, I can't do that unless I want to like disconnect the voice chat. And if like after 45 seconds your phone goes to sleep mode or whatever, like it'll shut off voice chat. So people are having a lot of problems with that. So a lot of people are just using Discord or Skype or just plain
common sense.
Yeah, or they're just plain actually just calling people on their cell phone and doing like a three-way call or something or whatever. So that does seem to be. I haven't tried it yet, but people are not loving it too much. The one cool thing about it so far with it is I like the stat tracking element for Splatoon. It'll show you your stats for the last 50 battles you've done, and also you can order gear on there. So like, and so far I've noticed every time I look at the gear on the app is better than what's actually in the story in the game. So what you can do is like you can go in there like, oh cool, I want to buy this shoes or this headband or whatever. Buy it when you go, you order it, and then when you start the game up, the next time you go talk to this guy named Merch. And you just get your order, which is really cool. So I like the fact that it's like, because I think it switches I don't know if it's like I don't know the time. It's like either like 6:12 or once a day or something like that. Like the gear in the stores swaps out. So it's kind of cool. Like you can go on, you don't have to worry about so much you're gonna miss stuff in the game, but you can at least got a chance if you're at work or you're not available and you're not be able to use your Switch. Or at least do online portion on Switch. There is a way you can at least get something and look at the new stuff. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's a fun game. If you like Splatoon, you'll love this game. And if you missed out on the Wii U, or at least missed out on Splatoon 1, which wasn't a lot of you, I think it sold like 7 million copies. 13 million Wii U's sold. But if you missed out on this game, definitely I'd say check it out. It's a super fun game. It's not a huge time commitment. A Turf War game is like 3 minutes, so you can pop in and pop out, do a quick game. This game is perfect for the Switch. If you're doing commuting or whatever, a level in single player is a few minutes. Like I said, the salmon run is 10 minutes. That's the longest stretch probably you'll do of a game. If you're gonna do a game mode. The salmon run, and it's maybe 10 minutes.
Really? Only 10 minutes. That's not
yeah.
bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it's that because there's three waves and they're 100 seconds, and then maybe if you include the loading and all that shit, it's maybe 10 minutes. So yeah, it's fun as hell. I'm really happy with it. Like, yeah, I have some complaints. The rotation shit drives me up the fucking wall. When salmon run goes away, I'm gonna be pissed. But everything else so far, like it is great. The game part, which is the most important part, is excellent. So yeah, check that shit out. But yeah, like I mentioned, we'll jump more into the Switch app. You downloaded it, didn't you?
Yes, I have downloaded it. As a matter of fact, I'm currently looking at it.
Yeah, it's basically when you pop it up, the main screen is invite list and then Splatoon 2. So nothing else is available on there. Mario Kart 8, ARMS. So hopefully those are coming down the line. Go ahead.
So yeah, basically, Tyler, what's been saying about the Switch app has been mostly accurate. To be perfectly honest with you, when he means bare bones, he means actually bare bones here because it's basically you open up the app, you sign in with your account, and you're presented with this sort of like a 2-layer like sort of layout here where it's like the top is like. Is red, it's like online and stuff, and all of a sudden has a little blurb. It's like, how do I invite friends to use voice chat via online lounge? It's like, all of a sudden you have the thing on the bottom where it's like game specific services, and the only thing listed here is Splatoon 2. It's labeled like with a black like sort of overlay and stuff, so it's like you have access maybe to go forth and maybe create, say, a room in the game and then try to invite like other ones of your friends through this app, but other than that, that's it. It's basically just a two-way app right here. It's nothing like really remotely that interesting, you know. It's like it's got this little like thing where you can modify the settings, like say if you want to go to the Nintendo support website or leave feedback or read over like private policies and just the basic stuff that you would normally do with some like random apps and stuff. But yeah, the thing about this Nintendo Switch app, it's like, man, it does not look good at all, to be perfectly honest with you. It's like there's so much to be desired right here. What they could have done remotely to maybe improve it, other than maybe closing out the voice chat, like if the thing goes into standby mode, because let's be perfectly honest, they got to cut that out, because that is really preposterous to think you have to keep that stupid thing on constantly by tapping a screen every 45 seconds. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and I think that's a big reason why they pushed back the Nintendo Online, like paying for it. Like they knew this thing coming out. Like if it came out now and they're charging $20 for it right now, that's a fucking joke for what we got with that thing.
That would not last.
I feel like this is maybe like their beta, and maybe I feel like they probably should have come out and said like this thing's in beta. Like they kind of came out and said it's free it's a free trial, which kind of makes it seem like this is it. So I hope this isn't it. I hope this is really a beta. But if not, this is sad. I hope they do more things with it, like they have a little more like you can go on the Switch. You can, when the Virtual Console comes, you can buy stuff on there.
Right.
They obviously fixed the issue where you can't use you can't, like my phone right now. Just like I was looking at the Switch app, and I just put my phone down to talk, and it just went black. So then if I was doing a voice chat, if we were talking voice chat on Splatoon 2, it would have just cut me off.
Yep.
And I guess it drains the shit out of your battery too, which I'm not too surprised about, but it's a feature people have been talking about, is your battery. You better have that thing on the charger while you're playing Splatoon 2 on voice chat. So I'm hoping that's something that needs to be fixed, because it's just kind of, I understand everybody has their phone, but it's a fucking phone where we use it for other than, people don't like to use that just for the one thing. Like if I'm on the phone with somebody and somebody sends me a message, I can look at it. I can back out of the phone call while still talking in person and check my text messages or check my messages or whatever. Or if I'm on hold, pop it on. I'm gonna look at Facebook, whatever. Kill 2 minutes while I'm sitting around on hold. So having or like listening to music and then doing something else, listening to a podcast and then scrolling through Twitter, whatever. So that's something that really needs to be fixed. And also be able to put the thing in sleep mode, because that will save you on battery too. If you can at least make the screen black, where it's not, lock it or whatever. But yeah, it's not a glowing first impression. Obviously it only has the one game on it. I hope Mario Kart 8 and ARMS aren't too far behind, especially Mario Kart 8, when that's a game where you can play with up to 11 friends online. But I do, like I said, I like the stat tracking. I think there's a lot of possibilities with it, like buying Virtual Console games, things of that nature. Maybe even it'd be kind of cool if you can play some Virtual Console games on that app. You know,
I know.
If I'm paying $20 for it, like if I can play NES or Super NES games on it,
yes.
Which I don't see it happening, but that'd be cool.
Yes, there's honestly some improvements that do need to be made upon this app when it eventually does release next year. At the current moment, yes, it does feel like it's a beta sort of app, to where, okay, this is basically what they're having for how they're going to try to interact and try to get people together upon their service. However, what I feel they need to do to improve, other than, say, like, disable the whole feature, like, for, say, if a phone goes into standby mode, is possibly, like you were just saying, Tyler, like, implement some other types of, like, things, like Virtual Console or this or that, you know. I mean, it's basically kind of up in the air what they will eventually do with it. I mean, I don't think this is going to be the final thing they do with their online service, because, yeah. Considering how much of a backlash other fans have been giving this, and how bad like their consumer ratings have been for this predominant app. I mean, I checked the Apple Store and it's like 885 reviews for this one app, And there's only 2 stars for this darn thing, so that does not look good upon the public issue, the public perception of the Nintendo Switch's online stuff if they can't support a basic feature like voice chat, you know?
Yeah, which is the key thing for this app, so is why everybody's downloading it. But yeah, I mean, I think they knew that this thing isn't ready, and that if they came out and tried to charge them $20 for this right now, you would have turned a lot of people off. And right now, Nintendo has a lot of goodwill.
Yes.
And I think don't ruin that shit for a quick cash in.
This is their only step back they've had since releasing this Switch, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, this is the worst thing they've done in the last 9 months. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks now, but hopefully down the line, I hope this isn't it. I hope there's a lot of big things coming. There's a lot of things they need to do, and there's a lot of things I hope they do. So, yeah, well, I guess time will tell, but it will be interesting to see what they do with this thing. I'm not going to delete it. It's free to download. So, I mean, I guess if you have a Switch or you have Splatoon, or if you have Splatoon 2, at least download it, try it out, maybe. But yeah, it's nothing to write home about. But moving on, this one's pretty exciting to me at least. So TellTale had almost like a direct kind of thing. I don't really know what the hell you want to call it, but they announced 3 new projects that they are doing. One is Wolf Among Us Season 2 is happening. Mm-hmm. That game, I think, initially came out I think it finished up in 2012 or 13. They're finally getting the second season. That's coming out sometime in 2018. I think the rumor is early 2018. And then I still have to finish the first season. I own it on PS4. I just haven't finished it. And then the other 2, which I am super excited about, Walking Dead, the final season. So season 4 is coming out, and I think the rumor is late 2018 for that one. And this, like I said, final season. You're gonna play as Clementine. Spoiler alert. She's still alive after season 3, and so that's gonna be it. I'm really excited for that because I as much as I really liked Final Frontier, New Frontier, season 3. I wanted to play as Clementine the entire time. It was like a tease, it was Javier, and I really liked Javier. I liked new characters, liked all that, but it's all I want to do is play as Clementine. That's my story in this game, is the story of Clementine. And it was just kind of weird. There's this 2-year gap. They kind of sort of explained some stuff that happened in the middle of it, but they kind of there's a lot of shit that we don't really know what happened. So I'm excited for that. And then also this one's coming on August 8th, so super soon. Batman, what is it called? I'm gonna look it up real quick. But there's Batman season 2 is coming. Like I said, August 8th and everything. What is it? I'm sorry. The Enemy Within. So, yeah, that one shocked me because I think the season just ended. The first season just ended in December. So really quick turnaround. 8 months when you consider. I think there was a 4-year gap, or at least a 3 or 4 year gap between Walking Dead season 2 and 3, and then you're looking at a 4 or 5 year gap in between Wolf Among Us seasons, and then you look at other games like Game of Thrones, that was 3 years ago. Tales of Borderland was 3 years ago, and we haven't even heard anything about a new season. But this one's the main villain in this one, and the teaser trailer we got is gonna be Joker, and then I think they're teasing a little bit of maybe the Riddler. So. But yeah, I loved that game last year. It was one of my favorite games of last year. It's just the TellTale engine was the big thing that held that game back for me. But where are you at? I mean, I know you've played some of them, but I was wondering if any of these things are kind of you're excited about.
I'm definitely thinking about potentially trying out some new TellTale games. To be perfectly honest with you, I've only went through Tales from the Borderlands, which I thought was an excellent TellTale game. I'm excited to see The Walking Dead that's going to be wrapping up with its final season coming out late 2018. I mean, that definitely gives enough time for somebody to say, if they haven't delved into the series too much or something like that, to go finish up the couple of games that are available currently, like the first 3 seasons and stuff. I'm really surprised with the Batman stuff because, like you said, Tyler, we just got the finish up of season 1 last, December, and they've already announced plans for another season.
Yeah.
So that's a quick turnaround for them.
Yeah, I'm all on board. You know, we've talked about TellTale a lot. I pitched a lot and I've gushed a lot about TellTale throughout the history of this podcast. But yeah, they have been definitely killing it lately. I think they've kind of found their groove again. There's a rough patch there for a little while with some of their stuff. Just like looking, Game of Thrones kind of, a lot of people went with that one. But same time they've knocked it out of the park. I think the last few Tales of the Borderland, Batman, Walking Dead, and then also Guardians of the Galaxy was so far only the first 2 episodes are out. I think episode 3 comes out in late August 22nd. I want to say, same day as Uncharted. God damn it. Fuck me, man. Everything comes out in late August. This is bullshit. But anyways, yeah. So far that's been really good. I've enjoyed that one. So it feels like they have definitely got their groove back, which is great for me, anyways, as a lover of TellTale. And I just got to figure out a way to fix that engine or. Right now, because the thing I've said before is like when the episode comes out, you really want to. The episode really doesn't come out for like 2 weeks after that because that's when it's actually playable.
Right.
When the game won't crash on you and you won't deal with invisible people with just teeth, which is super fucking creepy. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. Cannot wait, and I think a lot of people are excited for that too, especially because Wolf Among Us I think is a lot of people's favorite TellTale one. That's the only one I haven't beat since. Other than the Minecraft shit, that's the only one I haven't finished or played. But last up, Doom. One of our best. I think it was like 1 or 2 for our overall game of the year last year.
It was.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think Uncharted 4 was number 1, and I think Doom was 2. But anyways, Doom. They had a season pass came out with the game last year. I think it was $40. They are actually releasing it. All the Doom DLC is now free. They did an update. I think came out earlier this week. So there was 3 map pack. I think the 3rd map pack just came out a couple weeks ago. But I think they raised the level cap. They changed some things around with some like power up stuff you got to the game. I didn't play enough. I played it so long ago. I don't really remember a lot of some of the inside baseball shit.
Oh yeah.
But there was. There was 9 maps released in these season pass, a bunch of new guns, some new enemies. You can basically like find this one thing in the online mode, and you can turn into like one of the main bad guys from the game, one of the demons, and then a couple other things they were released in the season pass too. So. I think this is kind of cool. I mean, it's easy for me to say as somebody that hasn't played the online mode in well over a year. So probably think like the first couple weeks it was out. I remember, I think you might have been there, and I know Justin and I played a few games online. I think I played a few games with Jake too back in the day. But yeah, I think it's super cool. I think there's a free weekend going on right now with Xbox and PC. Actually, probably looks like by the time this comes out, it's already over. But next weekend. For PS4, I think the 27th to the 30th, they're going to do a free weekend for PS4. And right now it's super cheap on sale. It's like $15 on Xbox and PC. And I imagine it'll probably be on sale sometime next week for PS4.
Oh yeah.
So, and you can probably find it for $20 or so, at like brick and mortar stores.
Yes, you can.
But yeah. The online mode, I remember playing it, was actually fairly good. I had a lot of fun with it. Just not a lot of people, wasn't people to play it with, really. At least people I want to play with. But if you're looking for a kind of a Quake-like fast kind of game, just you want to like the campaign, then I think you're really enjoying get hooked onto it. And I think it's kind of smart. I think more games could probably learn from this, especially the way we're going now. Season passes are going away. And it's more like, here's a lot of shit at the beginning, and then we're going to give you free characters and new maps. Like Overwatch, I think, kind of changed the game on that. And last year, I think, was the first big one where, like, when they said no season pass, I'm like, oh shit, okay. And it's like, we're just gonna give you free shit. I know Splatoon did it before, and a couple other games that probably did it before that too. But I think it's smart, especially like, and it's something I've talked about for a long time now, is the days of like where everybody owns Call of Duty is long gone. Like, that was the one game everybody had in common. So that's the game that everybody, a lot of people played it just because that was the one game you can play with all like, there's 6 of you in a party chat. It's like, all right, well, 3 of us have this game, but everybody has Black Ops, so we're gonna play Black Ops. So I mean, those days for the most part are over. Like, outside, like, the reason like we play so much Rocket League, Rocket League's a great game. We all like Rocket League, but we play a lot because everybody on PS4 has that game, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's the one game in common that we do have, and that's because we all got it for free. So I think this is a good way to keep, because you're segregating the audience now, because a lot of people want to play the new maps, or you're breaking that part off. So I think going away from that season pass thing is really cool. It's good for gamers because now we're not shelling out another 30, 40, 50 bucks on top of our $60 purchase. But you're adding, if you keep keep them coming, you could probably do it more often instead of doing like 3 packs where it's like, here's 4 maps 3 times a year, 3 different times a year. Like, here's a map this month, here's a gun this month, here's a gun and a map, or whatever, you know? Like, you can keep this game relevant for long stretches of time, like they talked about with like Splatoon 2. We're gonna give you free maps, free guns, all this stuff for a year. Overwatch, we just got a new character in Overwatch.
Yeah,
Doomfist.
Doomfist is coming.
That game's been out for over a year now.
Yes.
So I think this is I hope more games that have been out for a little while do this, especially a game like Doom where they probably don't have a big player base to begin with, and on top of that, like I just said, you're breaking up that audience by having a season pass, and then I'm sure a lot of people probably bought the season pass because it's all multiplayer. So I think it's a good way to bring them all together. And I can understand if you bought the season pass, maybe you're a little upset and they didn't give you anything to kind of pay you back for that in a way. But I think in the long run, it's probably the best thing for that game. And I hope more games, like Titanfall 2 didn't have one either. And I think Star Wars Battlefront 2 ain't gonna have one. That's EA. Fucking EA loves money. Like, they do everything they can to nickel and dime people.
But now they kind of realize that doing the season pass now, if, say, you're going to be putting out your game and stuff like that, they probably have already exhausted the game developers, including major big old developers, let's say, like, publishers like EA and Ubisoft. If they're doing, like, season passes or something like that, they probably have realized that they have probably exhausted it.
Yeah.
So they're probably just taking the page from Blizzard's book, and they're just putting out a lot of content for, like, a lot of the content will be free unless it's something incredibly major.
Yeah, and they definitely found ways, like, Battlefield 4 had a season pass and had, like, you can buy loot boxes, essentially. And Overwatch has loot boxes, but it's like, I'm not a big fan of that loot box stuff, paying for it, or, you know, you can earn it in the game, but you can buy like costumes and stuff. Yeah. But I'd rather have that than season passes. Like, I'm getting more content, getting new characters, I'd rather have new characters and maps for free. And then also, if I really want to pay money for these costumes or whatever, or stickers, or what the fuck ever you want, like, you can, but you can still earn it as you play. Not saying I'm okay with it, but this is the lesser of two evils, I guess, in a way. So yeah, I mean, I think this is great. I hope, like I said, I hope season passes are on the way out. I know, like, Battlefront 2 will have the loot box thing going on, which, you know, like I said, that's fine comparatively. But yeah, this is awesome. I am totally on board with this. I hope the next big one, the fall, I think, is actual Battlefield 5, or whatever the hell the next one's gonna be called. And then Battlefield -1, since they're going backwards, maybe. Huh. And then whatever the next Call of Duty is after this year, maybe. I think those are the two. Those are like the kings of season passes. So if those two Titans fall, no pun there, sorry, in Titanfall. But if those two fall and get rid of the season passes, I think everybody will follow suit. And even the small games will do it too. So yeah, I think that's cool. If you want, check out Doom for free. It's free this year. I'm not sure if the single player is free.
I think it's the multiplayer.
Maybe it's just the multiplayer. But like I said, it's fun. If you can get some friends together, check it out. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. But you really should just play Splatoon 2. Instead, because it's better multiplayer wise. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for the show this week, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like I said, we're not summer doldrum stuff. We're lucky games are. There's games coming out, which is amazing in itself, but there's not a lot of news. But rather have games to play and nothing to talk about than a bunch to talk about and nothing to play. So yeah, fucking Pyre is coming out fucking next week. That's crazy to me. That's insane. Shit is happening, guys. There is like no dead zones anymore in gaming, at least this year.
Our dead zone is already over.
Yeah, our dead zone was like 2
weeks.
Yeah, we're like, hey guys, nothing's happening for like the first 2 weeks of July because it's 4th of July. We didn't lose shit. But as soon as that's over, late July, here's everything else. So yeah, and then fucking a couple weeks we got a bunch of goddamn man.
It's like we go from like maybe 3 months or something like that of dead zone, and all of a sudden now 2017, it's like 2 weeks.
Yeah, fucking crazy, man. We used to remember we used to bitch in the summertime recording the podcast because there's nothing to talk about, nothing to play.
Yeah,
like someone released a game. I remember when the big deal Arkham Knight was released in like mid-June. Like everybody lost their fucking minds. Like, why are we releasing games during E3? This is insane. And now it's like, fuck, like
man, that was like freaking 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, now it's like we're getting like 8 games. Now we're getting like 8 AAA games in fucking June.
Yep.
It's like, don't get me wrong, I'll take this over the other, but we went way too fast, guys. We need to slow our fucking rolls. Slow the shit down. Okay? Too much. I don't have time. I'm gonna quit my job. Start fucking working in the parking lot to buy my video games. I can make $50 in 5 minutes instead of $50 in 3 hours at work. But anyways, thank you guys for listening. If you want to hear more from us, we have a Facebook page and group, Drunk Dash Nerds podcast on there, or Drunk Dash Nerds, I'm sorry. So join us on there. On Twitter, we are at Drunk Nerds Pod. So, follow us on there. Those are the 2 places to go when I always go on those places and update when the podcast comes out. And then also on YouTube, we're Drunk Nerds Podcast. The show goes up on there. So if you're listening to us on there, subscribe and like, please. It's a great way for people to see us. And then also shows up on iTunes. Subscribe to that, please. Also leave us 5 stars and write a nice review. I would really appreciate it. It's a great way for people to see us. And then last but not least, we're on Twitch at Drunk Nerds Podcast. Follow us on there so you can see when we're doing streamings and watch our stream. Yeah, so check us out in all those places. I would greatly appreciate if you would, and also tell a friend. We'd like that too. Tell your enemies. Tell your neighbor. I don't really care. Just tell everybody. Just have a sign and walk down the street. Next time you drive by an abortion clinic and there's people fucking protesting abortions, go over there with like a listen to Drunk Dashers podcast sign, okay? And have it like make it cool looking, like put flames and shit on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, do even better. Like blaze this freaking podcast or something in the middle of your workplace.
Yeah, there you go. I like
have
that
them
too.
listen to my sultry voice inside of their ear holes within 8 hours of the shift.
9 months later, every woman at that place is going to take time off for paternity leave. Fuck this. Because they heard Gable's voice. But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. I was your host. I was Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables. And until next week, everyone, game on. Have a good week. And most importantly, give yourself some time to just have yourself a good rest. Later, everyone.
Bye. Game on, Garth.
Game on. What the hell is the other guy's name? Wayne. Oh, God, we jinxed ourselves again. Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys. Excuse me. You too many beers there. Anyways, we're on iTunes now, so go on there and check us out. And if you like us, leave us a review, and we'll even shout you out. And Jack will send you his credit card number.